Fun fact, but also hard pill to swallow, as a human being, you are gifted with the power to be highly successful or to be a big old failure, and it's up to you which direction you take. I've talked about this before, how I searched far and wide for actual strategic tips to help my mindset, get over my self-sabotage, and get past my drinking behavior. And it was when I found Psycho Cybernetics that I actually started to get success. Let's talk about this. Cybernetics is the study and science of control and communication in all animals and in some machinery. This science was actually discovered in the Second World War when it came to heat-seeking missiles. What they found was that they could create equipment that had an end goal in mind, and it basically fed off of negative feedback to fail its way to the goal. Now that sounds a lot of mumbo jumbo on the surface level, but diving deep, we can look at ourselves as human beings that are gifted with a central nervous system and a subconscious mind. These work together to help us decide on an end goal and then communicate with our negative feedback if we are on track to that goal. Again, I know this can all sound a little bit deep, but I want to explain it in an easy term that even a child could understand. And this is where I want to backtrack to self-image and subconscious mind. As a human being, who we believe we are is going to be set up as the goal in our mind. If you've ever felt like you set out with a goal to become a different person and you always failed, it was because your subconscious mind was holding on to what you believed was actually true about you. And throughout the step from A to B to get there, it was measuring if you were deviating from that goal of your believed self-image. Now, I want to get a little bit further in depth here. If you believe that you are diseased, if you believe that you are going to be an addict for life, if you believe that you're going to be a failure for life, your mind will actually become a failure mechanism. That word is what we use in Psycho Cybernetics to define how your mind switches from the failure-oriented mechanism to a success-oriented mechanism. And it's all built around who you believe you are. I want to put this into a little bit of context so that you can really see, and I want to use New Year's resolutions perhaps as a way to paint this picture. We start off with a goal. Let's say I want to quit drinking. I still, on some subconscious level, believe somewhere that I'm an addict, that I'm afflicted with addiction, and that it's an incurable disease. On a very deep level, that's what I believe, but I really want to quit drinking. Well, here I go. I'm setting out and I'm doing good for 2 or 3 days. All of a sudden, my psycho-cybernetic system picks up that deviation from who I actually believe I am. You would probably experience this in times where you start to find a little bit of success and then you feel, oh, I'm too tired to keep going, or this just isn't what I do. This isn't who I am. That feeling of stepping outside of your comfort zone and forcing yourself to stay there means that you are truly changing the gears of your psycho-cybernetic mechanism. So let's say that you actually start to work really hard on changing your belief about yourself and who you believe you are. You say your affirmations and maybe your auto-suggestions so many times that now you actually do believe that you don't really care to drink at all. You're not an addict. Alcohol is really a non-factor in your life. Now, in context, you're skating along in life and somebody offers you a drink. It's going to feel like intrinsic motivation to say, no, I'm good. Because now you have fed your psychic cybernetic system that that is not who you are. It doesn't fit within your moral compass. It will feel as if that is a deviation from the plan for the end goal in mind. I want to pull out 5 of the most impactful things to remember as written by Maxwell Maltz, the great doctor who wrote about Psycho Cybernetics. Number 1, your built-in success mechanism must have a goal or target. Think about a ship leaving port. It needs to have that destination or else it's just lost at sea. Give your mind your end goal. Number 2, your mechanism works with the end result in mind, meaning that you don't need to know what's gonna happen between now and then. Your mind is gonna work spontaneously to bring those answers to you. That is the real magic of your mind. Number 3, per Maxwell Maltz, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are actually how our mind obtains that negative feedback and allows us to correct the pattern. Think about that heat-seeking missile, or again, even like autopilot. That's a cybernetic system. Autopilot on a plane or a thermostat, when the temperature goes too high or too low, it does what it needs to do to get it back on track. So don't be afraid of mistakes. A lot of us learn by failures. Number 4, to piggyback on number 3, is not to be afraid of trial and error. Someone once said that we failed our way all the way to the moon. Our rocket system actually had to understand the negative feedback to correct. So again, do not get so hard on yourself that you failed or you messed up that you stop trying at all. The moment that you really believe that you failed is when you switch your mind back into being a failure mechanism. Number 5 is probably the most difficult, especially for somebody who might be an overachiever or a perfectionist, and that is not to get too caught up trying to force the behavior or force the right things to happen. What Maxwell Maltz says is, don't be concerned trying to jam it, because when we're really anxious or concerned, we're actually feeding our mind a different goal that we don't intend. We're saying that we expect to fail, we expect to feel anxious, so bring all of that anxiety to us tenfold. So remember to just trust your success mechanism, because it will find the way. So in closing, remember that when you are striving for behavior change or even literally transforming your identity, you have to decide on who it is that you believe you are. What are those positive attributes? Have that end vision in mind, literally see it and feel it for yourself so that you're feeding your success mechanism the blueprint how to get there. Also, don't forget to just relax. Let it happen on its own. Your success mechanism operates spontaneously and you cannot force it. Force negates in this type of realm. So, relax, visualize success, and believe that you will be there. I hope you love this lesson as much as I do. This truly transformed my life, and it's one of the biggest things that clients come back and say, I love this part of the Magnify program. It was Psycho Cybernetics. This book is going to be linked in the description. Make sure you leave a comment. What was your favorite little point here, and how are you going to use Maxwell Maltz's advice in your life? And don't forget to subscribe. We're bringing you more education and inspiration to help you think different, to drink different, or never again.